We're very excited and grateful to have a wonderful Sufi teacher, al-Qadir Davies, with us today. al-Qadir is on the faculty of the University of Spiritual Healing and Sufism in the United States. His lifelong passion has been to create avenues to communication and peace, and he has led or partnered in peace-building initiatives in over 25 countries. He's been a consultant to U.S. governmental departments, as well as international governments and organizations. And from my perspective, al-Qadir is a master at listening to what appears outwardly as conflict, and with the greatest gentility, civility, and compassion, leading people towards the central truth within themselves and enable them to see that place within others. His teaching today is Mirror, Mirror, Seeking the Authentic Self. al-Qadir, welcome, and thank you for being with us today.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Abdullah. That's a beautiful introduction. I really appreciate it. And of course, all of the credit goes to our guide Sidi and all of the wealth of his wisdom and the wisdom of the prophetic tradition that comes through him and continues to come through his spirit. So I'm grateful to be able to be with you and to be able to share some of my learning, such as it is, in the way. And inshallah, to be able to support you as you would like. I want to really welcome everyone. I think we have more people online than we can actually have introduced themselves in a short 1-hour session. So, please forgive that. I would love to be able to spend the hour just hanging out with you to get to know you and to be able to open the conversation that way. But let's make the best use of the time we can. And I really want to extend the invitation for you to raise your hand if there's a pressing question or issue that comes up at any time. And or you can, of course, text Abdullah directly, or better to text Abdullah because I'm not going to be paying attention to the messaging system online. So if you have a question, if you could raise your hand or send a question to Abdullah, and then he can pass it on to me at whatever time he feels guided. And otherwise, periodically I'll be asking for questions, and inshallah we'll be able to find the right balance so that we can learn from each other and share the reality of our own walking in a way that's helpful for us and for others. So this is a topic that's close to my heart. And suggest we start then by taking a moment in remembrance. Just letting go the activities of the day. Even letting go your expectations for the session. Letting go everything just to be present. Letting yourself be supported. By the love of your Creator and Sustainer. Rooting down into the earth of His love. Allowing it to open, the light of His love to open your heart all the way from your belly, your base, up through your chest, your throat, your eyes. Opening your back body as well as your front. Just releasing any boundaries. Letting yourself swim in the name, Allah. Allah. letting yourself be held in the womb of the name. Allah. Nourished and protected and loved. Allah. Just as you notice, there's an opportunity to open more deeply, then drop into that place. Any place of constriction you can let go. As you notice it, let it go. Any distraction into thought, when you notice that, dropping deeper into the name. Allah. Allah. So from this place, what is it that you're seeking? What are you looking for in your authentic self? What is your heart reaching for? Just asking the question, opening to whatever answer comes in your heart. What is the authenticity that you're seeking in yourself? And just be with that for a moment. And then one more question. What's in your way? What's stopping you? Again, just noticing what comes in your heart, being with that. Just witnessing. Okay, and as you're ready, let your breath start to deepen again. And take a minute or so to open the eyes. Okay, is anyone would like to share or willing to share what insights they got? What is it you're looking for, and what's in your way? I invite you to.
If you'd like to share, you can just unmute yourself and speak.
Mm-hmm. Take a chance. Use the time to be able to get the teaching in terms of what's coming up for you right now. And of course, any information that is of a personal nature, we regard as completely confidential, as with all programs. in our way. Just a sentence, what is it that you're looking for? What fragment came up for you? What was it? A quality? Was it what was it that defined for you authentic self? In this moment. Just a question for your heart. There's nothing rides on it. There's no right and wrong answers here. So bottom left of your screen, you can unmute.
They're in here. Salam alaikum.
Salam, beloved.
Wa alaikum salam.
I think there were two of us speaking at the same time. The other person can go.
Okay, well,
go ahead. I'll wait.
Okay.
Can you share your name first?
Oh, Shirley, I'm sorry. My name is Zuleika.
Zuleika, welcome.
And for me, I feel that Allah is calling me to be able to bring some of His light into my work and dealings with other people. And the thing in my way is I feel like I have this huge winter coat covering me completely. I just feel like it's just to get out, like a cocoon that I can't get out of or something.
Okay, so the calling to authenticity is to be able to really carry Allah's light, and so that is what is working through us and healing through us when in our work with people, and so that's beautiful, clear vision. And on the other hand, it feels like you're wrapped in a cocoon of like a big winter coat that covers over that light. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so is it a cocoon that feels like a protection for you?
No, it feels like a no longer wanted thing.
Yeah, beautiful. Alhamdulillah. So good. So there's your heart ready to be able to take the next step in your journey. How to be able to find the opening and trust that, the vulnerability of that opening, to be able to let go of the familiar world of the caterpillar in the cocoon, to be able to spread your wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, and there's a third question that I put up there that I didn't ask. What is it that you can do about it?
Pray and pray and pray and do my healings. And the reading my teachers tell me to do.
Yeah.
Pray and pray more.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. So prayer means remembering Allah, reconnecting with Allah. It means opening to guidance, asking for guidance. It means asking our heart to be cleaned and washed
Mm-hmm.
It means all those things. Okay. Beautiful. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. And there was someone else who was going to share?
Assalamu alaikum. This is Jamila.
Wa alaikum salam, Jamila.
So when you asked about the authentic self, I thought about the question that I always have, how do I recognize it? Because there's a lot of ways I think about it, but there's only really one experience of it that's truly that experience, and it's a level of innocence and sweetness that I have certainly covered over in my life by thinking I had to do things a certain way, or I had to behave a certain way, I had to look a certain way. But every once in a while, I'll get a taste of that sweet, childlike innocence. It's not really childlike. It's very deeply holy and sincere, and very sweet, or I can't quite describe it. But that, when I see that, I realize that is who I'm seeking. That is what I'm reaching for, and that's what I'm longing to.
What Allah created you to be.
Yes. And it seems like the only way I get there is to run into a brick wall and fall down. But other times, obviously I'm doing my practices, I'm doing prayers, I'm striving to know that deep place in myself. But I think it isn't always accessible. And reach for it and seek it. But it seems like only periodically does it actually become tasteable.
Beautiful. No, it's really helpful. The words that you've used to describe it, the innocence and the sweetness of that innocence. And that's the feeling of the freshness and the aliveness of Allah's light lively in us, right? And beautiful. So it's a way of recognizing that sense of innocence, not anything that you have crafted or can take credit.
Right.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It's sort of like meeting myself. It's like meeting myself. Oh, there you are. Oh my God.
So in the prayers there's going to be a sense of gratitude when you notice that, right?
Amen.
Yeah, and so that's part of the opening.
Gratitude and joy.
Yeah, beautiful. Alhamdulillah. Anything else?
Well, there's also tawbah. I mean, overlooking that sweetness, that innocence, for pasting over that incredible, delicious beauty with all the skins of things that aren't true. The veils, the pictures, the beliefs, the attitudes. And when that clears for a moment and you see it, that essence, then it's like, oh, forgive me. I'm so sorry.
That's it.
So the
right.
tawbah is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Forgiveness.
Beautiful. And so that's the veils that otherwise create the cocoon that surround us and isolate us.
Right.
Keep pulling us back into separateness. Okay. Yeah. So tawbah is the turning back to Allah, to be able to recognize when we have put up another veil or another protection or another belief that separates us rather than connects us to the divine. And
it's not even putting it up, it's just being caught in it, caught in an old belief.
Right. Yeah. And just then when we catch ourselves in it, then in that moment we recognize, oh yeah, no one's holding me out. It was just that I was holding on to stuff I don't need to hold on to.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And we become conscious of that, and that's the critical step of freeing ourselves from it.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you. All right. So let me suggest some goals that you might keep in mind as we move through today's conversation. And that top goal, the theme for the session is living authentically, being fully present, so that our heart is free. And free means at peace. The two go together. And we're not feeling dependent on anything other than Allah. And Allah is complete freedom, in that He holds us in love that doesn't disappear. And to deepen our spiritual walking, to know ourselves, to access the beauty and love and the wisdom of our essential nature, and to open for it to be cleaned of the veils of self-judgment and other limiting beliefs. Even when we're not aware of the veils, particularly those unconscious veils and beliefs that we're brought into, then what happens is that unconsciously they can undercut our intentions to be able to find and live our authentic self. We sabotage ourselves through our unconscious clinging to these older beliefs that are no longer serving us, but they're sort of familiar. They're family, and so we haven't done the work of really releasing our grip on them. Finding the transformative gifts and opportunities in emotionally charged situations, in difficult relationships, rather than avoiding the hard times in relationship, in family, at work, wherever. Recognize the opening that is represented when that things intensify and it's not clear the way through or the way forward. That's when we are able to choose to stretch ourselves, to open to Allah, and to be able to trust what we're given in that moment, and to be able to speak and listen and act from the heart, rather than retreating into judgment or blame or shame, or retreating to avoidance, or retreating to trying to manipulate the situation to keep ourselves safe. And then last suggestion is to build lasting relationships. Focus on what is needed to be able to build lasting relationships and a secure family, whatever family of birth, family of marriage, family, spiritual family, that's founded on empathy and support, harmony and love. Okay? Relationships is a big part of the way of the love, obviously. And so we need to move from avoiding difficult interactions to actually appreciating the gift that is inherent in them, looking for Allah's light in them that will actually show us the way through, show us the way to be able to manage those situations authentically from love, without judgment, without blame or self-blame. So a framework for understanding the authentic self. Their university has taught us 4 realities, 4 worlds, if you like, in the journey. 4 main worlds, 4 main realities, 4 main identities, if you like, 4 ways in which we identify and discover who we are. Okay? And each of them have their own validity. Each of them have their own truth. But if we get caught and too comfortable in one, then C.D. says this ruins us. We have to be multilingual. We have to be able to open to moving among these realities as different states. Not just wait for them as some station that might get established, but recognize that all of these four worlds are open to us as part of our birthright. So they're open to us in states, and it's through repeating our opening to each one of them that each of them can become accessible on a permanent basis in time. So the first one, and let me just review these quickly. I mean, this is all familiar ground, but I want to just take a fresh look at them. First reality of the journey is the ego self, the nafs, that is oriented to the outer world as separate people. If you've been listening to, I hope not too many, any presidential debates lately, then you can see how the language of separation, how strong it is. How people are pointing to other people or peoples as the problem. You know, we have to build a big wall to keep out the Mexicans, or we have to not let any Muslims come in, or we have to throw out the protesters. Rather than recognizing, being able to relate to another as not separate from myself. Okay, but in this first reality, we create and identify with a world of separate people, separate things, separate structures, separate pictures of reality, not even moving pictures for the most part, just pictures, snapshots of the world that are like veils of which we structure our quote-unquote objective reality, our picture of objective reality. It's structured of our pictures and our beliefs that are often built on assumptions and a very limited range of experience. That we look for security and fulfillment. We look for security, number one. In a world of separation where there's no inherent deep connection between ourselves and others, that other people are peripheral to us, then there's little trust of other people. And so safety is our top priority. So we build these veils, we build these cocoons primarily for safety because we've gotten scared at different times. We've been traumatized at different times, and we don't want to repeat the same thing. And so we also look for fulfillment of physical desires or passions. The basic desires of the nafs for food or possessions, money, for sexuality, and for control, authority, power over our environment. Okay, and so this is the nafs al-amara, the commanding self, the one that strives to be in charge. Okay, so where we're helped to be able to find our way beyond this world that we structure, that is by opening to the light of guidance. And this is Islam. To be able to open the heart deeply, to be able to receive divine guidance. Okay, whether it comes intuitively from the inside or from a guide outside, this is what we're looking for, to be able to find the way out of the vicious cycles of separation. And as we do that, as we surrender, then we step into the life of a Muslim. Okay, this is one who is on the spiritual journey. Okay, in the way of the love. Second world is the world of the heart, the qalb, and the qalb being that which turns both ways, turns outward to the outer world, also to the inner world of the soul and of the secret, and inhabits, the world of the heart is the world of the barzakh, Sidi says, which means that life expands from ourself as a body with consciousness to something bigger than that can't be contained by the body anymore. We can only begin to really understand who we are by looking at how we are in relationship, how we are part of a constant flow of light, of energy that weaves us together. And so it's through even a single relationship with one person is a barzakh. So if we are in the world of separation, then that barzakh is a place of separation. It's what distances us from anyone else around us. But in the world of the heart, as we really drop and open the heart, begin to surrender more deeply in that way, then that barzakh starts to be a junction point. It starts to be a point of connection. So the world of the heart is where we move from separation to connection. The world of the barzakh, or barazikh, if you're talking about relationships in the plural. And this becomes a primary reality. It's not the security of our physical body that matters most, or that tells us most about who we are, that allows us to be most authentic. It's how we are when we're in love with someone else, when we're loving someone else, when we're allowing love in, and living in that flow as our primary reality. That's what brings meaning to life. And the life becomes a search for deeper meaning, a search for opening and deepening love, a search for faith, of deepening insight, finding the right way to be with others in relationship from our heart. And this is authenticity. This is the innocence and the spontaneity of being able to trust who we are, trust what Allah, who Allah made us to be, and to allow ourselves to be able to be in that flow, interacting with others. Okay, both on the inside and the outside. And ultimately recognizing there's no difference between the inside and the outside. As we love others more, we start to realize what we love in them is what gives us light as well. So this is the nafs al-lawama, the righteous self. And we know what's right in relationship through what expands and opens our heart. And we can also check with the outer criterion, the Furqan of the Quran and the Sharia. In this second world, the heart is front and center. And so it's the world of Iman, the world of faith. And Sidi says faith is more than belief. We can adopt a belief in the first world, but in the second world, it matures into faith. And we become mu'min, more than Muslim. Okay, people of faith. And this is a big part of the journey. The journey of the heart is really the way of the love. The fulfillment of that journey comes in the third world and the fourth world. Third world is the world of the soul, the ruh, which is both a reflection of the spiritual light the Muhammadan reality, the prophetic light, through which creation occurs and is sustained, and which contains all of the divine names. So the highest light through which creation appears and is sustained, we are a reflection of that. Each soul is a reflection of that. This is the ruh, the breath of Allah, the nafs, the soul of Allah. Okay. And this light is also mirrored to us by other souls. So as we are inspired by that light, that awakens deep love and deep yearning, the ishq, and inner knowing and consciousness of Allah in our own heart and in the heart of those He puts in front of us. So this is the Nafs al-Muhammad. It's a beautiful expansion. The heart is already a big expansion beyond the nafs, the outward-oriented nafs. It extends much bigger than the body. But the soul essentially is without boundaries because it's a reflection of the one soul, the soul of Allah. So the Nafs al-Muhammad, the inspired self. And here we're helped directly by the light of gnosis, going beyond faith into knowing, beyond iman into ihsan, excellence, the completeness of faith, which is also the light that gives us gnosis or marifa. And so a Gnostic is referred to as an Arif. And so this is a beautiful high station and something that we can taste and pay attention to. When you get an experience that has this flavor that you recognize in your heart, just pay attention and be grateful for it. Okay? Because it's a gift, it's not something from your own striving. The fourth world is the world of the spirit, the transcendent world, the seer, the unmanifest, the secret, which transcends any sense of separation or otherness. Even in the world of the soul, there's only one soul, but we are still in the highest proximity with Allah, loving Allah and receiving His love. But still, lover and beloved separate. In the world of the seer, lover and beloved are not separate anymore. The word would, the same root as wadud, that sort of love refers both to the lover and the beloved. Whereas in the world of the heart, the hub, we're either mahabba or muhib, the lover, or we're mahbub, and the beloved. They're separate. But in the world of the spirit, the love within the unity is the wadud. And the wadud is beyond conditions. It's beyond time. It's timeless, it's unconditional. It is immediately fulfilled in the oneness of the lover and the beloved. There's no separation between us. So there's only Him that we see. Not that we're blind to everything else, but our eyes are fully open to everything and to seeing everything in its completeness and perfection, which is the divine in them. And this is what's referred to as hearing with the heart, or hearing with the eye of Allah, or ear of Allah, seeing with the eye of Allah. And this is the nafs al-mutmainna, the self at peace. As the journey has been fulfilled. Here, we're no longer walking to Allah, or even upon Allah, as the soul does, but walking with Allah. Okay. And as we continue to walk in the unity, helped by the light of unity, then we also continue the journey within Allah. All right. So, any questions on the world? So any questions on the realities that doesn't make sense here? Because this is really mapping the way to different levels or different versions of the authentic self. Each one is authentic within its own context, but then it's limited, and we hit the boundaries of it, and we start to open from guidance, from remembrance more deeply, and we start to find a deeper authenticity. Any questions? Okay, so another way of looking at this is the field of the heart. As I said, it's much bigger than the body. Not the visible material heart, but the material heart is by far the biggest field generator in the body, thousands of times stronger than the field of the brain, for example. And so there's an electromagnetic toroid field that goes up and out and around through the heart. That at times you might notice these lines, energetic lines, that connect us and weave us into the fabric of the universe around us. Each of us exists in this field, or it's like a protective field. It's like an expression. It's one level of the womb of love in which Allah holds us. Because the same field in the heart, which allows us, by the way, a toroid field like this means that it is a holographic field. It means that all the information that is in that field can be known in any point in that field. So the heart is also a receiver. When we come close to someone, emotionally or physically, we can tune in to what's going on for them. And this is a form of love, form of empathy, where we connect with other people through the heart. But it's this spiritual or energetic heart that resonates and opens us up to be able to share the same experiences with each other. And it's not just human beings that have the field. If you look at the electromagnetic field of the planet, there's a similar protective sheath in the electromagnetic field around the Earth. Instead of a heart beating blood, the Earth has a core that is liquid metal that circulates and keeps the planet in balance. And that generates the field just the same as the heart does for the human body. And so again, we have fields that through which we can intimately connect with and know and love what Allah puts in front of us and who Allah puts in front of us. So mirroring, Sidi says, all existing entities are ranks of your being related to you. Nothing manifests to you except that which is you and from you, or which is to you and from you. So look, give each entity its proper favor out of love, because from that comes what perfects you. Each entity has meaning for you and is related to your reality. The realities that manifest to you don't manifest except by your reality. The whole matter is yours. It is from you and for you. So what Sidi is saying here is we have to shake off the old belief, the old habit of regarding ourselves as being in a random universe, that most of our interactions are devoid of meaning. And Sidi is saying here, no, that's not the case. It's not even close to the truth, that every interaction, every person, every experience that Allah puts in front of us is there for a reason and has value for us. because it appeared because of who we are, because of our need in the moment. Okay, so they manifest because they carry a gift from Allah. Okay, so if you see a shortcoming, then know it is your own shortcoming manifesting to you. So if you dislike a shortcoming in any person, then work to remove this shortcoming from yourself, and you'll not see its trace. Okay? So even if you don't know what that shortcoming is, there's just something that's happening that is triggering, the daylights out of you. Or maybe it's just a slight trigger, but it's triggering you. So you may not know what it is which you're seeing, how it actually mirrors what you're carrying in your own heart. Allah says in the Quran that the human being can only see the good in himself. And so the part that we have more difficulty seeing is the part that isn't beautiful, that isn't good, the part that needs cleaning and work from our part, that we need to take responsibility for. But we can see that much more easily when it's reflected back to us by other people. Okay, people we love particularly. Kids are great at this. Adolescent kids, 2-year-old kids, any age kids are wonderful mirrors for us. They've specialized in their lives in being a mirror for what we're not looking at. But the same thing will happen with our beloved, with anyone that Allah puts in front of us. And so pay attention and just don't wait. If you notice that you're triggered by something or someone, doesn't matter whether it's a personal friend, someone in your family, some politician, some criminal, whatever, if it triggers you, do tawbah for whatever it is. Maybe it'll be obvious to you, maybe not. But if not, just ask Allah, please show me what I need to know. And please clean whatever it is that I'm carrying that corresponds to what you're showing me. It's so important. Once Zaleha talked about being, wanting to be authentic as a healer. This is authenticity as a healer. When you know that really you're not the healer, that Allah is the healer, and who's being healed? You. Okay. Also, the person that mirrored for you. But if you really want to be a vehicle for Allah's healing, then let Him heal also through your tawbah. And through that, my experience is that the healing goes deeper, both for you and for the client. This is where miracles start to happen. You go beyond the world that you command, and you start to open and be the vehicle for the divine. Your perfection is in accordance with the power of your witnessing, because the more you're able to witness that perfection, the more you arrive at your own perfection. The perfect one see only perfection in the whole of existence. So give each distinguished entity within your existence their due favor from your love. This means give it an existence from yourself until it is folded within its beloved. Okay? So the perfect ones see only perfection in the whole of existence. So if you're seeing anything that lacks beauty, lacks perfection, then know that something is being reflected back to you that needs cleaning in your own heart, your own soul. All right? And then as you start to see real beauty in others and start to feel the gratitude and joy of the beauty that they're bringing to you, then this is a symptom. This is a signpost in the way of nearness to Allah. Until when all we see is beauty, all we see is perfection of Allah, both majesty and beauty, then that is the symptom of our own perfection, our own completion. So I'm not going to be able to go through a lot of this. If people would like to have this material, I can send out a PDF of it afterward. But what I'd like to do is, let me just run through this one quickly. A big part of stepping into the journey, stepping into the search for authenticity, is embracing vulnerability. You know, the soul's need or yearning is for love and connection, right? So to experience and live the beautiful divine qualities. And this requires vulnerability, overriding the voice of the nafs, which seeks safety and predictability and control, that fears being shamed or judged or rejected, fears its unworthiness, fears the loss of relationship. It requires that vulnerability. And so that vulnerability requires trust. It requires faith. And that faith is faith in who we are, in who God is making us to be, and faith that because we are God's creation, we are worthy of His love. So this can give us the courage to speak and act authentically and wholeheartedly, not just as we or others think we should be, but showing up as who we are in the moment. And it requires compassion and empathy, love and kindness for ourselves and for the others. So vulnerability is what makes us present and beautiful, moving with the flow of life and unpredictable, open to joy and creativity, and love and sustained connection. So I'm going to skip over these points, and again, I can send those notes if you'd like. I just want to take the last few minutes that we have, and it's a very few minutes, to just be in Taba with you. We reflected earlier, what were the things that were stopping you? So what were the pictures that you had of yourself that undercuts your intention to break the cocoon, to break the tune, if you like, to break your glass? What separates you from the world? Okay. So tune in. What were those limits that you were seeing as veiling Allah, preventing you from opening and stepping into full authenticity of the heart or the soul or the secret? Allah. And then just into that place, you feel that relief, where it sits in your body. Is it in your belly? Is it in your throat, your heart? Feel that belief, that veil. Where is it in you? And bring the name to that place. Open that place to let it be filled and washed by the light of His mercy. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. And notice as your heart opens, that sense of sadness or regret from recognizing, oh, I've stopped where I don't have to stop. Allah. And recognizing the regret as the symptom of the healing, the dissipation of the veil. So, from that place, forming the intention to change our pattern, not letting ourselves be stopped, not getting caught in that pattern, but returning and opening our heart to Allah, relying on Him to clean and heal and open and awaken our heart and the soul. Allah. So it's the work of the soul to make clear intention, clear choices. How to renew our commitment, to turn fully to Allah, open fully to Him. We open the heart so fully that there's no boundaries left. Completely transparent. The field of the heart resonating in love with the field of the universe. No. Recognizing that even the Mohammedan light ultimately discovers itself to be not separate from the unity of the divine. Okay. So as you're ready, letting the breath deepen, opening our eyes, and returning to the group. Okay, so we're at time. I'm not sure whether there's time for a last question, but happy to answer any questions for you if you want to stay beyond time.
If someone would like to ask a question, please unmute yourself and speak, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, Abdul Qadir. This is Radia.
Walaikum salam, Radia.
I just want to vote for a transcript or a recording of this. I overslept and wasn't on in the beginning. I'm so sad that happened. But I would love to hear you. If not here, then just the reading of it. So
Abdullah, that's probably a question for Abdullah.
The teaching has been recorded and it will be posted to the YouTube site Sufi Center Minnesota. Just go to YouTube, type in Sufi Center Minnesota, and you will see the recording of this teaching later today, inshallah. And Abdul Qadir, if you'd like to send me the slides, I will distribute them as best I can.
Alhamdulillah. Good. So that'll give you two ways of being able to pick up any points you missed, and a little bit more information from what I was able to give during the hour.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Good.
Blessings. Love you. Bye-bye.
Assalamu alaikum. So just a reminder, as you're moving on into your day, that the steps for the journey are always remembrance often, making tawbah whenever you notice that you're in blame or in separation from anyone. So asking God for your own healing with the intention of also benefiting those who mirror your shortcomings for you. Looking and listening for what's worthy of love in all you see. And being impeccable in manifesting the higher human qualities through your love, your compassion, your empathy, and your kindness. So not fret about what's going wrong in the world. Look rather at what Allah is stretching us. What is the gift behind what we're seeing that will be transformative for us? So stay in the stream of the walking, looking for Allah in everything that we do. And the retreats, both locally and through the university, and group practices online, can be a beautiful way of being able to continue to be in relationship, be in the barazikh of the heart, to be able to cross to the point where we can consciously live the unity of the soul and ultimately the unity of the divine world of Allah. All right, and you're welcome to contact me. I'll have my email included in the PDF that I send out if you have questions or concerns that you'd like to share as a follow-up from the class.